This is a warning that all optimism you're going to see in the first half of this video will be very quickly depleted. I'm just kidding, I'm like half serious. I was extremely optimistic into going into this new thing, into trying a new thing. It did not work out quite how I hoped, but that's okay. You live, you learn. If you're trying to get off the ground running a small business with nothing except your passion, your will to live, and your experience, then you're gonna hit some bumps in the road, okay? My brand on social media, like personally, has always very much been like honesty, like very blunt, upfront honesty about like when it comes to success, failure, mental health, trials and tribulations, all of that stuff. I never sugarcoat things. I never am like, no, I'm doing so good when I'm not. I don't know if I'm just weird, but I don't like to fake how I feel, like ever. So I'm gonna show you the build up of how I felt going into this week. I did some filming, some vlogging, some preparing for this pop-up and everything. So you can watch and then we'll cut back to me now and we'll chat. Hello there, I am Stitched by Emma. I'm a crochet and knit designer and I am having my first pop-up this week. I'm so excited, I'm so pumped, I'm so scared, and I am so nervous. Like literally, I've spent the whole week prepping like a mad woman and I still am like worried that something's gonna go wrong, or I don't know. I've been having stress dreams about it, like insanely. I kept having this dream that like I was running it, but I was wearing the dress that I wore to Lollapalooza. Insert the dress, and I wore it to see Chapel Roan, and it was on my mind because like an Instagram reel that I made of it was like doing pretty well at the time. And then so I was wearing that dress, but it smelled so bad because I had it like at Lollapalooza, and in my dream I'd been wearing it ever since then, which will be like a full week from then. So everybody like wouldn't come to my pop-up because I stank. And then in my dream, that's all I was selling was like this stinky dress, and nobody wanted the stinky dress. And then I became a first-person shooter Resident Evil game, and literally everywhere was different like Resident Evil bosses, and I couldn't beat anything because I didn't have my guns. They were all in my trunk or something. So as long as that doesn't happen, I guess we're golden. We're so golden. Cheers. I just got coffee with my mom. This is from like a local coffee shop by us, right? So we got 2 large iced lattes with milk replacements and a scone. The whole thing was $15 total. That is unheard of. I haven't been somewhere where you can get $15 for 2 coffees since I was in the womb. Like this is, you guys, so good. There's a flavor in here too. 2 flavor shot lattes with a milk replacement and a scone. Once the pop-up is done, I am launching my website, which has been in the works for like literally a very, very, very long time, and I almost feel like people think that I've just been like lying about it because I keep being like, yeah, I'm working on the website. I'm working on the website. Oh yeah, the website's gonna be up soon. Maybe in like a month. Maybe in another month. Maybe when it's actually done. It's actually done. It's actually there. And so everything, I'm bringing my inventory that was scheduled for the website to the pop-up. Everything that does not go will go up onto the site. So, but I've committed to selling some things that I am like so deeply attached to, and I don't know why I did that. I'm like so stupid. I'm like, I don't understand why I did that. But the biggest thing is Miss Ophelia. This is the first iteration I made of the Ophelia top, and it's honestly my favorite one. But the other version I have of it is in discontinued yarn now. I used Arcane Fiberworks's Autumn Drive, and it's so lovely. It is so pretty, but they don't make that yarn anymore, so I can't get it. But this is Malabrigo Washed in the shade Archangel, and that I know I can still get. So I was like, if I sell this and I really, really, really miss it, I can make myself another one, or I can just experiment with some new colorways, because I've had multiple people ask to buy this off of me and I've always said no. I'm always just like, no, she's my baby. She's my baby, I don't want to. But I think it's time. I think it's time for her to like fly free and see other women, see other people. I only have a very small selection next to me because a lot of the stuff is like prepped and ready to go. I'm also filming this video so out of order. The things that I'm trying to film are just like some exposition right now, filming myself making my visual board for it because I made a little like visual aid and it's really cute. It's a culmination of all of the pictures that we took for the website photo shoots and the pattern photo shoots. You'll see it, you'll know, you'll see it in a sec. I can show you the tags I got official tags. I got official tags. It's like I'm an official businesswoman. Literally, if me 3 years ago saw me now, I think she'd have like an aneurysm.
But I'm selling a bunch of my Swan Lake skirts. I have 6 Swan Lake skirts up for grabs, so that's very exciting. And then I have my original Norma Jean romper. This piece is adorable. So I don't know, if you like any of these, go get them. Go get them. My original Eloise cardigan, she's a beauty. She's got butterfly buttons and she's adorable. All of these pieces are made with like real nice materials, mostly 100% merinos or 100% cottons. Anything that would be acrylic or nylon, I try to thrift or get secondhand. So I do my best to be as sustainable as possible. Go me. That's my little preview for you for now, and I also want to try and vlog a little bit of the actual pop-up. I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped and excited, and I'm hoping to just sell at least like one thing. One thing. I'm keeping my expectations low because I don't know how this is gonna go. I've never done something like this before. Brand new, huge step for me. Huge step. I'm putting out this adorable top that I made the other day because I'm gonna remake it for myself in green instead. I have like mannequins for my display too. It feels so professional. I got tags, I've got mannequins, oh my god. So we're gonna make a little bulletin board visual for the pop-up. I've got pictures from various photo shoots and we're gonna put my logo right in the middle. Here's my board and Aubrey. Hi baby. Hi sweet girl. But yeah, I think I'm also gonna try and pin on little like yarn remnants or swatches or little just like flower things to make it cute, and then hopefully people will walk by and be like, oh my god, wow, this looks so good, I need it. At the risk of looking conceited, I'm probably gonna surround the logo with like the pictures of myself modeling and then like fill in the background with the photo shoots that I did with other people, because I am Emma. I am the Emma in Stitched by Emma, so it makes sense to me. As you can see, like the pictures kind of naturally form little like spaces in here, so I grabbed some like little trinkets, little things from my room. We've got the extra swan doily from some of my swan works that have blown up, some little swatches that I've made, little flowers, and just like random ribbons, and I'm just gonna kind of try and make it look good in some way. Here we are. It's finished. Okay. Let's get a close-up look at everything we've got going on here. So, logo in the middle. I've got these little flowers on here. My mom bought me fake flowers for my birthday a couple years ago, so I've just had these like sitting in the corner of my room. So I just kind of cut some off and pinned them to the board. Little doilies in the corners. The swan doily, of course. This is just a bow from like a Depop package that I got. Just like any little trinket I found in my room that I could pin, I put on the board to fill like the space. Because the pictures can't really like cover everything, and I don't want them to look super like stiff and put together. You know, I wanted some variation, so I think I did a good job. I think I got it. Here we go. All of the pictures by the water are from a shoot that I did with my friends at the Chicago lakefront, and they were literally such troopers, because if you've ever been to the Chicago lakefront, this area right here that they're standing by is like, you have to get down all these like really big steps, and people sit on the steps when it's nice out and they just sit by the water, and there were so many people by the water that day just like watching them, and I was coaching them like pose, spin, and I felt so bad, but they were like amazing. I was so happy with how they turned out. All of these are so cute. I've been washing all these pieces that I'm going to be selling in increments throughout the week, but most of it's got to be hand washed, and there's so much that like my entire house is just full of stuff laying flat to dry. Literally, it's like walking an obstacle course. Every single banister has stuff hanging off of it. Every single couch has like something laid on it. So it's just like, it's a mess, and I like thank you so much to my family for not hating me and hating my guts because I've made this entire house like look like my studio. I wish I had a studio, but right now I have my mom's house. So good morning. It's the day of. I'm super psyched. I slept in like these robe curlers last night because I wanted to try and look as pretty as possible. I'm wearing my 70s dress today. It's a pattern that I tested for 2 girls on Instagram last year, and it's still like one of my favorite things I've ever made, and I'm gonna look so damn good. You'll see, and I'll tag them. I'll post their Instagrams on somewhere, maybe right here right now, but I want to show you some of the things I got prepped. So I have like little stickers so that when I wrap things in tissue paper, you can get a little butterfly on it to hold it together, because again, y'all know me on butterflies. We got bags. I feel so professional. And look, everything is tagged up. Oh my god, it feels so real. So here are the little tags that I got. It's so cute. So everything's got like the little tag on it, and here's like the little matching 70s playset. My family was like looking through stuff last night and they were like, oh, it's so cute, whatever. And my brother, who's like a grade A hater, you know, he of course he picks the tag of the most expensive thing. Like the one thing I have is like super expensive, and he goes, that much for this? And I was like, give me a break. Give me a break. I think my pricing is good. I think I've done a decent job just because I'm basing it on 3 different things, right? The quality of the materials used, the amount of time put into it, and like the skill level I was at when I made it. Because some of this is stuff that I made a couple years ago. So the stuff that I made like 2 years ago, I'm not gonna go crazy for it. You know, I've had it for a long time, you know, just go for it. I'm not gonna undercharge. I'm not gonna be like $25, but like, you know, I'm not gonna ask for like $200 for it, because like even though maybe I put in that much amount of time, my skill level and the materials I used back then is not the same as it is now. The piece that he pulled out was, it's gorgeous. It's this Swan Lake skirt that I made for my photo shoot and for my pattern. It's one of the most like complicated pieces I have. It's very beautiful, very high quality materials, and it's at like the highest skill level that I've been at because I made it just like a couple months ago. Actually, the highest skill level is now, but back then. What I'm trying to say is it's a very good quality piece and it's very nice. But yeah, of course he picked up the tag on this one and he was like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I deserve it. I am not anticipating this to sell in person. I'm not. I'm putting it on my website. If it sells today, I'll be happy. I'll be so happy, but I'll be shocked. I'll be genuinely shocked if this sells, because I don't know what the demographic is that's gonna be there. I don't know if it's gonna be old ladies. I don't know if it's gonna be teenagers. I don't know if it's gonna be like people in their 20s. I don't know. The three demographics: old ladies, teenagers, and people in their 20s. That's all there is. That's it. After 29, that's when old lady starts. On Instagram the other day, when I mentioned my Chapel Roan dress earlier, when I posted that, I made a joke in the comments about like, I'm an old lady at Lollapalooza, because if you're from Chicago, you know that Lollapalooza is like notoriously when the 17-year-olds come out, when the 16 and 17-year-olds come out in their basketball jerseys and they go to Lollapalooza and they bring their fakes. It is like notorious for like the high school crowds. And back in high school, I wasn't allowed to go. My parents were like super strict. I would ask to go. I was one of the only kids not allowed to go, so I was like fucking teased for it all the time. And then by the time I got to college, like my move-in dates always conflicted with Lala, so like even if I wanted to go, I couldn't, and I also couldn't afford it. I could not afford to go to Lollapalooza in college. I had no money, so I just never went. So now I'm 24, and I went for the first time at 24, which, again, if you've been there before, if you're from the area, you'll know lots of teenagers go. So me and my friends were always joking like, we're too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit. And I'm not too old for this shit. I know I'm not old. I know 24 is not old, but I'm allowed to make a joke, okay? And people were like, I need to read an article on why Gen Z thinks 24 is so old. I'm like, I don't actually think I'm old. I don't actually think I'm ancient. I do think, in comparison to the crowd at Lollapalooza, I was a little old. And that's fine. That's fine. You can put it in the context. You can contextualize. Ooh, my hand looks so like glowy with this lighting here. Oh, hello. Sorry. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys like how cute and professional all these little tags look. I'm really hesitant to sell my Daphne dress just because she brought me so much prosperity on TikTok and in life, but if she goes to a good home, I'd be very happy, and then I can make more to make a pattern. But don't tell anybody, because then people are going to be down my, what is the phrase? I was going to say down my ass. It is not down my ass. People are going to be, it's either up my ass or in my business. People are going to be in my business about when the pattern is going to be released. Every time I say like I am thinking about releasing a pattern for this, people don't get that patterns take a while to make. You gotta make a couple prototypes, and then you gotta put out a tester call, then you gotta get it tested, then you gotta do marketing and promo, and sometimes testing is like a month or two, sometimes it's 3 to 4 months. I think a lot of people think that testing is like you give somebody a PDF and they read it and they go, looks good, and then you move on. I posted this picture of like a top that I don't even have a pattern written for. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I ever will. And this girl is like, yes, I would like to wear this for my birthday next week. Could you get the pattern out by then? I'm like, no. No, I can't. I'm sorry, you can try to make it. Nobody's gonna stop you. Nobody's gonna stop you. You can totally try to make it. I don't care. But like if I'm getting a pattern out for this, it's going to be a while. It's gonna be a long, long time. Now that that tangent's over, I need to go to Target because I need to get a little like paper stand for my QR codes so that nothing blows away. And I need to get some hangers, some like clippy hangers for the skirts and some velvet hangers for some of the things. I don't want to stretch anything out, but a lot of things already have like chains for the sleeves, so the chains aren't really going to stretch and it's going to be a shorter period of time. There's some things I don't want to hang at all, but there are some things that definitely could hang and will be okay. But I don't want to take my my curls out because I want them to stay in for as long as possible, and it's only like 9:30 right now, so we're gonna wrap them up like this and try to just look like we got like a Princess Leia. I don't know if I'm gonna look like Princess Leia or if I'm gonna look Amish. I don't know why I'm thinking Princess Leia. This doesn't look Princess Leia at all. She has the buns. No, this looks ridiculous. It's finally time to take these out. I'm really hoping that they stay. I have to go to Target again because I put on this dress and I realized that you can see my nips a lot more than I remembered you could. And I don't have pasties, so I need to go get like pasties or nipple covers or something, just because I don't know who's gonna be there. I don't want everybody. If I was going to the club or something, I don't care. But this, we're professional. We're professional. It's my first big businesswoman day. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. I'm so nervous. If my hair looks good, I will feel good. This side fell out like a lot in my sleep, but I did my best to try and like just keep it in there. I'm gonna go slow. Some of my hair is like stuck in my dress and I can't get it out. You know what? Not too bad. Not bad. I gotta spray it though.
Hey, welcome back. I don't know how long that was for you. For me, that was about 3 seconds to cough and resituate myself. So my full intention going into that was to like vlog some stuff and at least like show you. I'm gonna show you some pictures instead because as we know, if you've seen any of my videos, I'm a shit vlogger. I'm not a good vlogger. I like to sit here and I like to talk. I'm a great talker, not a good vlogger. So basically I had a little setup, or I'm gonna show it to you right here. I had a cute little setup. I was able to borrow some materials from the shop that my mom works at. My mom is a speech pathologist in schools, so she has the summer off and she got like a summer job at a local boutique that was near where I was doing this. So they let me borrow a bunch of little things like a chalkboard to write my name out and like some stands. The only thing that was really mine was the table and the rack. Her friend who works there also let me borrow the mannequins to put my pieces on. Just very, very sweet ladies. Very, very sweet women who are just very supportive and kind. So I was very, very grateful for all of their help going into that. I just realized that the way that my bun is down, it kind of looks like a bow, like when like Lady Gaga did like the bow hair back in like 2012. Oh my god. I need to like fix this. There we go. That's better. So anyway, I was not really anticipating to sell much at this thing because I didn't know, like I said before, at least I think I said this in like the clips I recorded last week, I didn't know what the audience was gonna be, and I was expecting mostly older women, and a lot of the stuff just like, I'm gonna be frank, they're not gonna buy, and that's okay. That's fine. I wish that more people warned me about how difficult doing an in-person booth is, because it's honestly really difficult and it's honestly not that fun either. Like, yes, I did have fun. I had a good time and I'm really glad I did it. I'm glad that I did it. But like, there is something about just like sitting still for like 5 hours at once and having a bunch of people kind of give you dirty looks over the course of the time. I had so many people walk by and be like, not even like look at my rack, not even look at anything. They just look at my setup and they're like, keep it to yourself. Like, I don't understand why you need to do that. That's not nice. This is just not nice. I don't know. And like when people actually do come up, it's very hard because I'm a very extroverted person. I'm super extroverted, super talkative, but the minute somebody came up, oh my god, I like lost all ability to speak. I was like, hi. Hi. Like I didn't know what to say because if somebody is perusing, I don't want it to feel like I'm pressuring them into buying something or like I'm like, I really want you to buy this. Like, let me know if you need any help. Let me know if you need anything. Like I didn't want to do that because I don't know, I feel like that just comes off as like weird and pushy and annoying, and I didn't want to be the weird, pushy, annoying person. I used to work in a yarn store, and even in an official yarn store where people like usually need help finding something, like nobody wanted to be pestered or bothered unless they came up and asked a question. So I didn't want to like make them feel like, you know, they had to talk to me. I just kind of wanted to be like there to supervise and make sure nobody stole anything or anything. I want to start with like pros though, like positives. I met some like really awesome cool people. I met a lot of people who like tried things on and then gave me information for like wanting to order a custom or wanting like a piece done personally for them, and just like really asking me a lot of questions about like myself and how I got into this, and like asking about the individual pieces, and that was very great. I really enjoyed having these conversations with people in real life because what I do is just so isolated. I'm at home all day, I do all my work by myself, all of the interactions I have with people are usually digital, so it was really nice to like just talk to some people about it and talk to some other women who crocheted or knit and they just wanted to talk about that, and so I thought that was really fun. I made 3 sales, and there was one top that I specifically was like, this is so cute and I just finished it and I really would like, if anything's gonna sell, anything but this. Of course, that is the one that goes. That is the one that goes right away. And I guess my mom went up to my booth and she moved it to the front because she's like, this is the cutest one. And she was like, I know this will sell if this is at the front. So she moved it to the front and of course it sold. Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'm so glad that sold. I was so happy that that sold. Like literally all I needed was one sale to feel adequate, and after I got that sale I was like on top of the world. I was feeling so mopey before then because it's one thing to go into something and like anticipate you're not going to get any sales and anticipate it's not going to do well, but like for it to actually happen when you actually get there and like nothing's happening, it takes a toll. It takes a toll, and I was trying really hard to not be mopey, but like it was hard. Then after I was putting things on like close friends stories with like fellow crocheters and friends and stuff, and I was like, yo, this sucks. I was like, this absolutely blows. Everyone's like, yeah, markets are so hard, like one sale is like probably the best you're gonna get, or like you're lucky you got one sale, or like I never get any sales. I'm like, why did nobody tell me? Why did nobody warn me? I would have just dropped out. If I would have known, but like no. Like I said, I'm glad I did it and I'm glad that I tried it and I got some sales, so it wasn't for nothing. But I wish more people would have been like, hey girly, this is not gonna work out how you think it's gonna work out. Like, save your delusions. I think the worst part for me is that I don't like pity. I understand that I'm gonna flop sometimes. I know I'm gonna flop and I just suck it up and I try again and I keep going. But if I'm flopping in person, I can see the pity on people's faces and I don't enjoy that. I find it really condescending. I find it really like not nice or cute or sweet. This event was like hosted by a bunch of different like local stores, and they just kind of like put together this like night, and there were a bunch of booths there, and there was only one booth that was performing particularly well. The rest of us were kind of like struggling, and you could see it in our faces, you could see it in our morale that we were not doing that well. But like a bunch of the people who like own the stores, they would like come ask and like, how many sales have you made, how many sales have you made? And I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh my god, like all my inventory is gone. It's right there. It's right there. They can see through me if I lie. So I'm just like, oh, just one. And like I said, I was fine with that at that point. All I needed was the one sale. All I needed was the one to make me feel like I can do this. I'm good enough. Every time I'd be like, oh no, it's just one, they'd be like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, I don't need that pity. Like, I don't know. There's something that I just don't enjoy about pity. I'd rather you just be like, if I'm like, oh, just one, just be like, oh, that's okay. Like, I'm sure it'll pick up later. Or just anything, even if it's like fake. Even if it's so fake, I'd prefer that over like the fake pity, because I think that's worse personally. And like, I won't lie, I totally felt like a failure coming out of this whole thing. I felt like garbage, and I wanted to be like, no, 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 it's okay. Like, people are saying that like markets don't do well and in-person booths don't do well and stuff, and you honestly did better than a lot of people thought that you would. Like, even though I knew that like technically I did a good job and I should be proud, I still felt like total failure just because of the way that so many people were giving me those pity eyes, those pity looks. I was feeling fine about myself until I was getting those pity looks. Like, I had never seen somebody look at me like that before, with just such like, I don't know, embarrassment almost. It was strange. That part made me feel not great. But you know what? After the whole thing ended, I had people there to support me, and I was having a good time, and I went out, and me and my friends and my boyfriends got a drink. I got an espresso martini, and I lived to tell the tale. Now I know that I don't think I love booths, and I think I learned that I don't like market settings. I don't think I enjoy doing that. The inherent competition of there being so many booths around, I don't know. I feel like that's just not really what I'm made for. Speaking of what I'm made for, there was a moment, oh my god, this was so funny. There was a moment where these two women came up to my booth and they're picking up this sweater and they're like, I want this so badly. Like, they keep telling me, I want this, I'm going to buy this. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna buy it. And they start being like, what you're doing is amazing. Fast fashion is evil. The fashion industry is evil. And there's so much waste in this world. But it's so good to see people making like sustainable clothing and hand making things. People like you are what we need in this world. And I'm like, oh my god, thanks, like, thanks girl. And then they're like, I want this so bad, I need this, I'm going to buy this. And I'm like, okay, awesome. And then she crumples it up, doesn't even fold it, crumples it up and leaves. And I was sitting there like, and then there's a live band playing, and the band goes, when did it end, all the enjoyment? And I'm like, it didn't even feel real. It felt, I don't even know. It was such a bizarre moment where I was like, what am I doing here? What am I even doing here right now? I wanted to pack it up. I wanted to pack it up at that point, but I'm definitely glad that I stayed because that was before I made my first sale. So that was in the Milpy era. And like I said, once I made the sale, I was back. I was on top. That moment in specific, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, this cannot get any worse. This is almost like feeling like a slap in the face right now. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I don't think I like the market setting or like the booth setting, if that makes sense. I've been talking to some reps at some stores right now. I'm not gonna share any info just in case it falls through. But I've been talking to some people about possibly doing like a pop-up in a store somewhere. And to me, that sounds much more appealing just because, like, I don't know, I feel like having a booth where you're surrounded by other booths and you're surrounded by other storefronts, it feels very much like this inherent competition, and there is going to be inherent judgment, and I don't know, I feel like it would be different. I'd like to try something new. If this in-store pop-up thing that I'm talking about ends up working out, I would love to do something like that and just try something new and see if like this is a setting that I would enjoy more. Or maybe I just don't really like the suburban setting because this booth that I did was in the burbs, the Chicago burbs, okay? And I think Chicago burbs just does not really attract the demographic that would like my stuff or would wear my stuff. And like I said, there were a lot of really awesome people there that I got to talk to, but for the most part, the vast majority of people like wouldn't even look me in the eye, let alone like stop and look at my booth. And maybe that's an everywhere thing, but I feel like the burbs specifically, like you're gonna get a lot of older people who just aren't the nicest. So maybe in a more like city type setting I would do better. I don't know, we're brainstorming right now. We're just thinking this all through. This circles back, I promise. I'm binging Desperate Housewives right now, and the woman who bought one of my first tops, I think she was buying it for like a daughter or a niece or something, because this younger girl picks it out and then she hands it to an older woman to buy it. And the woman who bought it from me looked exactly like Edie from Desperate Housewives, and I thought I was hallucinating for a second. I thought, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm mopey. I just watched like 10 episodes of Desperate Housewives yesterday while I was preparing for this. I am imagining this. I'm like, this is not real. I'm gonna like wake up in 2 minutes and realize I like passed out in a bowl of pasta at my booth or something. No, but it was real. It was real. It was great. Shortly after this pop-up, I ended up launching my website, which I still am super excited about. And I unfortunately, like the day that I launched it, it seems like Instagram was like, "Oh, your shadow ban? Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back, bestie. We missed it, and I know you missed it." So I tried like posting about it, and like I feel like nobody saw it. Like, so that was a bit of a bummer, but I know that like social media and the internet is so different than in person. And in person, it doesn't work while you're there, then it's over. But social media, there's ebbs and flows, and people will see it eventually. So I've gotten a few sales on my website, which has been really awesome and exciting so far. And it's making me feel like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I'm going to be optimistic about it. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I will find another way to do it. One thing about me is I never give up, ever, on anything. Some call it persistence, some call it delusion. I don't know which one it is for me personally, but I've been consistent in what I've been doing for the past couple years, and even when it sucks, I always just keep going. I haven't quit, I haven't given up, just because there's this part of me that really does think that I have like total potential to be successful. And you know what? Like I said, maybe I'm totally delusional, and maybe one day someone's gonna bonk me on the head and be like, wake up, go be a secretary. I don't know. I don't know. But I fully believe that I can be successful in what I'm doing. And even though we have some flops, we have some moments of floppage, I really think that like I can do this. I can do this. So that was my experience doing a pop-up. Not my favorite experience. Don't know what is next, but I would love to try more things. A pop-up in a different setting, a pop-up in a different environment, in a different city, just like all different things, and see what I like, see what sticks. Something will. Something's gotta, right? At some point. I fully believe that, and I've always had this like little voice in the back of my head just saying like, it's gonna work out. Something's gonna happen and something's gonna work out, and I'm choosing to believe that voice. So yeah, check out my website if you want to see some of the pieces that I have listed for sale. I have a lot of really beautiful pieces, at least I think so, that I've made over the past couple years. A lot of them are more recent pieces. I have a lot in my like little reserve right now that I'm waiting to get better photos of before I get it up there, but I have my first ever summer drop listed. So if you want to check that out, I also have patterns for sale through my website. You can also get those on Etsy. Everything will be linked below. So yeah, check my stuff out. Follow me if you wanna. And I'll be back to talk about the next thing I get wrapped up in. A flop, a failure, a success, a push to the top, a Chapel Roan-esque success story. It's not gonna happen. Whatever happens, I'll be here to report back. I will see you next time.